Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Glassman's World. So, it's been a minute, not gonna lie. I was actually out of oxygen for a while. Ran out of oxygen, and also just been real busy. Busy with life and busy doing things. I haven't really had um, a lot of free time. Been just been busy doing stuff at home and taking care of family and really also just been being without oxygen. I've been kind of taking some time off. Also, our family got hit really bad with some sort of sickness. I don't really know what it was, but we got hit pretty hard with it, and it was no fun at all. So I'm gonna bring up the video here. That way I can read any comments that may show up here. I'll make sure to mute that. Alright, so that way I can read the comments in case you guys come in, start watching here. Make sure you hit that like button. Alright, we're gonna get started now. So, recently, before I ran out of oxygen, and hopefully we don't run out of propane anytime soon, but I've been making these really fun spinning tops. So basically it looks like a sari piece with a little dab of color on the bottom, almost like a Hershey's Kiss. Almost. It's got a rounded top right there. And these are really fun for just spinning. They're spinning tops. Once you get a bunch of them, you can see how long you can get them to spin, especially if they don't have any kind of obstacles or anything in their way, and they'll spin for a really long time. And my table, actually I think it's the room, seems to be not leveled, because I built the table leveled and put it in here. I think the tiling in this room is a little off, so I think that's funny. But we're gonna be making these really cool fun little spinning tops here. As you can see, they're a lot of fun, and once you get good at it, you can actually take them and spin them upside down as well. And they spin pretty good like that as well. Once you can get them to spin on their tops, that's a lot of fun too. So these, I make them for only $5 actually. These are one of my most affordable items that are really fun. They're pretty durable. I mean, I wouldn't just purposefully drop them onto the cement, but I've done some demonstrations where I've just taken them and just spun them out right onto the concrete just to show people how durable they really are. They might get a little bit of a nick or something in the glass, but they're not going to just shatter and break. So I like to show the durability of them, but I would never sell that one once it's hit the floor like that. Alright, so let's get started here. We'll make a few items for the day. It's been a minute. Alright, so I got my glasses on. Let's just make a couple more of these with the pink. This pink, no, that's white. With the pink here. We'll make 2 more, so that way I have a total of 4 of them. Let's see, do we have any rod? I've just been using my scrap rod for these here. So let's actually piece this together real quick. Here, we'll just get these 2. Clean it up with the Norwex. Always using the Norwex. So how you guys been? How you been doing? It's been a while since I've gone live. I don't even know the last time I've gone live. I guess I could check and see. I think actually the last time I went live was to talk about being sick. I've been documenting any time and every time that I've become sick, and for how long, and what my symptoms are and what I'm going through and stuff like that. And so that's just been something, ever since I started out. um, I have a lot of pages. I don't know if you guys know this on YouTube here, but I have a bunch of Facebook pages and a bunch of Facebook groups that I run, I manage, that I've created. It kind of started out with me just branding out my glass, going from Gardenia glass to then branching out and making things like the UFO pipe, glass jellyfish jewelry, sealed with love, the memorial glass where I make cremains in glass, um, the Gardenia glass straws with the drinking straws that I make. Um, and I started branding out like every individual item, like the drop of water is a huge one. And just been branding out things, and eventually I started making other pages like for my bands, for my music, like Element 37, Chronic Logic. When I used to be involved in different businesses, like Spaceport Pros, the Cosmic Trading Post, I started to put up these other pages and groups so we could manage them separately from everything else. That way it doesn't get just lost, and there can be a specified page with specified posts and things like that. So I kind of just started building and building more and more pages and more groups, and I think as of now I've got over 30 different pages on Facebook and so many more groups that I somehow try to manage. It's way too many for one person to manage. But there's a lot of important stuff, and so it's not like I just have to post every day on there, on each page. Sometimes I'll just share things from my main profile to those pages and get information out to the page itself. So right now we're just going to fuse these two pieces of glass together here. I think my flame's a little low here. Let me turn it up. So I just recently celebrated my birthday, guys. On Monday, I ended up becoming a lot closer to the age of 50. I may not look it, I may not act it, but I am almost a senior citizen, guys. I think that's funny to think about. I am almost a senior citizen. I can start applying for like AARP. I can go to those senior breakfasts where you go to the community centers and pay like $1 for breakfast. I can start going to bingo. It's funny because I don't look it at all. My daughter, who tells me I look like I'm 30 years old. And I say, thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I try to stay fit. I try to stay healthy and active. And I try to stay lighthearted and have fun in life. And so I think those are the things that help to keep me young. Trying to eat well. Try not to, I don't go to fast food places. We never eat at fast food places. To us, that's junk food. So we don't really eat a lot of junk food here in the home. We try to eat very healthy. I found out the other day, our 5-year-old, he likes Sprouts. For the first time ever, I had him try some broccoli sprouts. And he really liked it, and he likes it in a sandwich now. He was just eating the sprouts like out of the container. I'm like, okay, you like that, huh? I think children, if you give them the opportunity and the options, they'll show you that they really love these other sorts of foods, and they don't always have to have like, McDonald's or Wendy's or going out to eat all the time, to have like, just getting mac and cheese or getting like ravioli or, some SpaghettiOs or ramen noodles for dinner. If you can cook for your children every meal of the day, and I know it's hard when we have work and we have jobs to get to. We got to get our children to school. A lot of times once they're in school, then they start eating the lunch, the school lunches there, and that stuff really isn't that healthy for them. I'm happy that my daughter has the option of, oh look, that one's ready to go. My daughter has the option of eating from a salad bar. I think that's really nice. But then again, like, is it GMO? Is it not GMO? Like, what is it really, So yeah, I always try to treat food as my medicine, I don't drink coffee. I'll drink teas. I like to start my days off with a nice cup of tea in the morning. The tea that I've been drinking mostly is a tea that came from an ashram in Chino Hills, California. What is it? The Amrat. I forget exactly what the temple is, but they have some really nice tea. It's a Tulsi with ginger and lemongrass. And, teas are basically just a bunch of herbs that are dehydrated, dried out, and then they're packaged and then sealed, right? And that one time we went, the only time I guess that we ever went, we went inside the temple and checked it out. And we went to the gift shop, and they had their teas on sale. And it was like buy one, get two for free. And I was like, wait a minute, what is this all about? And I realized what they were doing was they were getting rid of that year's tea, because they make their own tea. They package and sell their own tea right there at the temple. I don't know where their farms are. I don't know if they actually grow right there on the grounds of the temple. I didn't see a farm or a garden or anything, so I don't know. But they had a special buy one get two for free, and then they had them in these really large bags. They weren't selling just tea bags. They had them in like bulk tea bags that were like, I don't know how big it is, like a pound worth of tea leaves in each bag. And then they had those all set up in a bag of like, I don't know, 3 or 4 of them in like a bulk bag. So you had this really large bags of tea that were then sold in a bulk bag of like 3 or 4 of them all together. And so I just ended up grabbing one of those bulk bags and got two more bulk bags for free. So I had a whole bunch of tea that's lasted me for several years, and it's still good. It's really nice. Hey, what's going on, Ethan? Hey, thank you so much for the birthday wishes. You just celebrated your 51st. Winter babies. Right on. So you're a Capricorn or are you Aquarius? I'm Aquarian. I'm like true Aquarian, right in the middle. on Monday, on the 10th, celebrated my 49th birthday. I'm a, what is it, a bicentennial baby, born 1976. And I think I'm pretty true to being an Aquarian. I always seem to have a lot of projects going on, always doing a lot of things at once, but rarely getting things done. It's one of an Aquarius flaws. We do like 20 things at once, and we'll get like one task, two tasks done, but we're trying to get like 20 things done at once. So it seems like we never get anything done, but really we're getting a lot of stuff done that needs to be done, while we're working on other things in the background. Alright, so right now I'm flattening this, trying to keep it centered. So the trick is when you flatten it, you want to flatten it pretty center. So that way there isn't like too much of a wobble, or it's pushed to one side more than the other, you know? I'm going to heat it up a little bit and try to just straighten it out just slightly. You can see that a little bit. Alright. And then we just grab the whatever color we're going to use. So I'm going to make 2 of these pink. And then I'm going to put them in the kiln. I've made, I don't know how many of these already. At least 30. I've made 4 of each color. And maybe even 40 of them. I don't know how many I've made so far. But I'm just getting these prepared and ready for next time that we're vending, which might be tomorrow, actually. I might be out in Nob Hill again here in Albuquerque with some new glass. I'll be having my spinning tops out. I'm going to bring out a tray that then people can spin them on. They can try them out and see how they work. But these are real fun spinning tops. And you can spin them with your left hand, spin them with your right. If they didn't have stuff in the way. Let me see, do I have that tray? Excuse me. So this is the tray here. So basically, oh, I can't balance it. But basically that'll be flat on the table, and then people will be able to spin a top on there to test it out. Kids are gonna love it. You know, I gotta always know though that sometimes someone might fling it off the table and break one or two. So I never charge anyone for breaking anything off my table. I think that would be horrible to ask them for money and they can't even like enjoy the piece. So I don't, I don't ever do the you break it, you buy it kind of thing. That's just sad. But you buy something broken. I don't think that's really fair. But at the same time, I mean, it's not really fair that they get to break something that then I don't get to sell, right? That color is not centered. I can see it's a little bit off. I'm going to try to move it over just some. Making sure that these are nice and centered, that's the key. Oh, okay, so your Capricorn dad was also, and your girlfriend is bicentennial. Right on, rock on. So where are you watching from, Ethan? I'm here in Albuquerque, New Mexico. I've been blowing glass since 1995, so this is actually my 30th year officially. Here's some chili earrings that I recently made. These are the last two green chili earrings. There's just baggies on the table. I just got to make sure that YouTube knows they're chilies and not anything else. Don't want to get in trouble for them thinking that it's something else. I've had videos pulled down because I was transplanting tomatoes, and then they were like trying to claim that it was something else. I'm like, no, I don't even grow anything like that. I just grow tomatoes and basil. I try to grow other things: spinach, kale, chard, mint. I always try to grow corn every year if I can. At least 4. To honor the 4 directions: north, south, east, and west. So I plant them in the 4 directions. I think I need to do a lot of composting and amending the soil this year, though. Last year didn't seem like anything really wanted to grow. So it's Saturday morning. It's day after Valentine's. I hope you guys had a really good Valentine's. I know not everyone celebrates it. You know, I used to just call it Love Day, and I said, well, no matter what, just spread some love, right? Whether or not you're in a relationship, or you want to be in a relationship, or you believe in relationships or not, or if you believe in Valentine's, or if you believe in the actual true historical fact of Valentine's and things, I just always say, you know, just spread love, share love. People need love in this world. We all do. And it's better that way, right? To spread love rather than negativity. At least that's what I think. So yesterday, my wife and I got to spend some quality time together. I went out and got her some beautiful roses and box of chocolates. You know, did the traditional thing, and then got our son some chocolates. That looks a little crooked. I can tell this is not going to be the best spinner right here. It's the first one of the day. They'll get better. The other thing too is the camera's in the way. So when I try to push this down, I might actually have to put my head in the way in the camera for a minute while I'm doing these here. Alright, so there's one right there. And we can let it cool, actually. We could put this... Here, let's move this one over. This was the one that we sealed together. So we can let that cool, and then we can actually test it out in a second and see how it spins before putting it in the kiln. The kiln's not on. I'm going to do a cold kiln, I guess, or a cold start, I guess is what you'd call it. I don't know. Can you see the kiln? There's the kiln. So we got the kiln just open right there. Got you guys on a swivel here. Sorry if I made you all dizzy with that. I got you guys on a microphone stand, which is pretty cool. Alright, maybe I got you set back a little bit to where I can get in here and push this down a little bit better. That way I'm pretty much right on top of it. I just might get my head in the way for a minute. Oh look, you can see right into my ear, huh? Oh, that might be interesting. You might see my birthmark on the back of my ear. I have a hole in the back of my ear. It looks like I have a piercing. Kind of interesting. Oh, you're watching from Michigan. I got all kinds of friends from Michigan somewhere. In the UP, and then also in Saginaw. Is that up in UP? And then, gosh, I don't know. I have friends. For some reason, New Mexico and Michigan, we got some kind of connection. There's people, I don't know, for some reason, I've just met people from Michigan all the time. Oh, I've been watching the snowstorms hitting you guys for the last couple weeks. It looks like it's been pretty brutal. And tornadoes. Got tornadoes coming with snow. That's crazy. And maybe not up in Michigan, but down there in the East Coast, some of those states over there against brutal weather. And I watch a lot of storm chasers on YouTube. I watch like Ryan Hall, Reed. I call him Weed Trimmer, but Reed Timmer, and a bunch of other people. I'm subscribed to a lot of different storm chasers. It's good to follow the weather patterns, to know what's going on. You know, like during the fires in California, I was watching the weather. Hold on a sec. Yeah, but I was following the the smoke, you know, and where it was all gonna lie and where it was gonna go because of the Moss Landing fire that was happening up there by the Monterey Bay, Santa Cruz. Was it Santa Cruz? Yeah, up there in that area. And Moss Landing is just to the west of the area in California known as the Salad Bowl of America, which is where pretty much all of our greens, all of our produce. Oh my gosh, that one is so crooked. I don't know. Playing these way crooked this morning. So all of our greens, all of our produce, a lot of spinach, a lot of the Driscoll strawberries are there. And the Moss Landing fire was a lithium battery plant fire that that caught sometime in January and was burning for a while. They basically let it burn because they didn't want to waste millions of gallons of water on a lithium fire, because you can't put out a lithium fire with water. So they basically decided to just let it burn out. And that caused an airborne toxic event, which the mass media, mainstream media, is not covering. They're not reporting on it. So it's up to individuals like myself and others on YouTube. Status Quo News is excellent at bringing in a lot of information from what's going on at Moss Landing. So yeah, I pay attention to a lot of that stuff, and learning about how the lithium fire in from the battery plant was carrying hydrogen fluoride and hydrofluoric acid. So hydrogen fluoride is extremely toxic and dangerous to humans. When it's airborne, you don't want to be breathing it in. And then if they use water, which their fire suppression system in the battery plant at Moss Landing, it turned on. It tried to suppress the fire with water. What happens is when you put water onto hydrogen fluoride as it's burning, it chemically converts to hydrofluoric acid. Now, I'm no chemist, but I am an alchemist. I do work with molecules. I heat up molecules rapidly. I do things as far as the glass blower. This is, it's scientific. There's a lot of stuff going on here. So I'm not a chemist or anything like that, but I do understand about mixing metals and things, and how to create colors in glass with different minerals and different metals and things. So, I'm not a professional scientist in any way. I'm a glass artist, but I do have a lot of knowledge. And so the things that I speak of are, it's all of my own entertainment purposes. And if you're entertained, it's for your entertainment as well. But this hydrofluoric acid is extremely toxic and dangerous to the soil, to the atmosphere, to the water. The Moss Landing is right there next to the bay, with an outlet that goes right out to the ocean. And like I said, the mainstream media is not covering this story, not talking about it, never let us know that the hydrofluoric acid becomes light and airborne and has it stays toxic for up to 3 to 5 days before it starts to finally lose its toxicity. 3 to 5 days. In 3 to 5 days, the air currents from California reach the East Coast, which means that we've all been getting poisoned by the Moss Landing fire. So yeah, I follow the storm chasers. I like to keep up to date on what's going on with weather patterns and currents, high pressure systems, low pressure systems, mysterious pressure systems that just come out of nowhere. I follow the Schumann frequencies, solar flares, all that energy, man-made energy, frequencies, energies, and vibrations that are distorting the natural frequencies, energies, and vibrations on this planet. So yeah, what I do is I blow glass, stream live, and I just start rambling on and talking about things in life, about things pertaining to my world, the Glassman's world. So yeah, the weather has been pretty interesting lately. And there's a lot of stuff going on the West Coast simultaneously while the East Coast is getting hammered. How much snow are you guys expecting? You got 2 storms coming, and you're expecting several feet or just a few feet? I know they were predicting 4 feet of snow in some areas on the West Coast, like in Oregon and Washington, and maybe even Northern California. Right now, California is dealing with a lot of the rains which are causing a lot of floods right now and mudslides. I don't know if you guys saw the video of the fire inspector, or he was an individual on the, I believe the LA Fire Department, maybe Malibu Fire Department, I'm not sure, but somewhere in California. His vehicle got taken off the road by a mudslide, thrown down 30 feet onto the beach. Somehow he miraculously landed on his wheels in the sand and got pummeled by some waves, but he was able to get out, walk away, climb up the 30 feet cliff, I guess, climb over a fence and get back to his crew and everyone. And I guess they sent him to the hospital to verify he was okay. I think that's wild. He fell 30 feet. The vehicle that he was in, I guess it was a truck or a van, fire inspector vehicle, went completely over. It's cool enough? Okay, cool. So that's cool enough to the touch. So there's still, it spins, but it's got a little bit of a wobble. But yeah, that actually spins good. It's not bad. It's just not going to spin as long as others would probably spin. But that actually has a good spin. That's one that I was saying has a wobble, but it actually spins good. You call it sag nasty here? Oh, so you're outside of Flint. Flint, Michigan is where there's so much stuff going on. So Status Quo News, those individuals, they were actually up at Standing Rock, and they were covering Flint, Michigan, and now they're covering the Moss Landing. They cover a lot of things that the mainstream media doesn't cover. Status Quo News, I highly recommend their channel. I watch them all the time. But yeah, Flint, Michigan, that's been heavily polluted. The piping is corrosive. They found lead in the pipes. Also, the automobile industry was one of the biggest contaminators, and letting all of that, all of the spill off, go into the waterways and things like that. It desecrated Flint. Flint, Michigan is not really like anymore. It's like East Palestine, Ohio. When the train derailed in East Palestine, Ohio, mainstream media maybe covered it for a little bit, and they made sure to show you that Trump was serving everyone burgers at McDonald's or whatever. He was like in and out real quick. He didn't really, I don't even know if he spent time like at the waterways and checked to see the actual pollution that was going on. At the same time though, to go into East Palestine, Ohio, could be a death sentence to individuals, especially if you're already susceptible to something. If you already have health issues, a lot of people left East Palestine, a lot of people left Flint, Michigan because of the health issues that arose. And I think that's what's going to happen out there in the Moss Landing area. People were staying even though they got nosebleeds, headaches, lesions on their face, their throat is sore, their animals are vomiting. There's farmers out there who are talking about how they've got like all these, what was it? I think it was chickens. He's farming chickens. He's got all these chickens on the way. And he's saying he can't even bring them into his farm now, or else they're going to be contaminated. So the chickens that he has, he's just going to have to let them he's not going to harvest their eggs anymore. And he's just going to have to let them go and let them be. And try to move his new chickens to a new location that won't be contaminated. So they're talking about how this is going to be another airborne, well, it's already been an airborne event like East Palestine, but then it's going to become Um, this is just another crisis event that has unfolded, that is happening, and oh, cool. I don't have any yellow ones yet. And so, yeah, it's pretty wild, the things that are going on. So I do my best to just, show you guys a little bit of entertainment here, blowing glass, and just talking about these different current events and stuff. There's been so many things going on. I don't even know what the last things I spoke about here on YouTube, because since day one, one thing that I do is I create a lot of playlists here on YouTube, so I can archive different videos and basically save them for others to then watch as well. And day one this year, I started a playlist called Welcome to 2025, Mass Media Events of 2025. And then right away we had like the California Fires playlist, which then each fire had its own playlist. Well, Eaton Fire, Palisades Fire, Topanga Canyon Fire, and Moss Landing, and the Hughes Fire. There's been so many different fires that have just been going on and on and on. And then, people are talking about what's going on with the Olympics coming out in 2028. Los Angeles is going to be hosting the Olympics, guys. Los Angeles just burnt down, and a lot of people have been relocated. Their whole entire community has been devastated, and yet in 3 years we're planning to host the World Olympics. And that means that Los Angeles is going to be on the world map. They're going to be like on the world stage, right? So what they have to do is they have to rebuild by 2028, and there's already plans for the LA Smart City 2028. And so it's just coincidental that these things occurred in those areas, and that they're building some sort of like speed train, right? Some fast train that's going to go through that whole area that just recently burned. It's like it was perfectly burnt, as if nature knew, and these wildfires knew that new redevelopment was going to occur soon. And the wildfires, nature just somehow knew that it was time to clear the path, right? Somehow, nature and the wildfires, right? We're calling these things wildfires, right? That's what we're supposed to do. So Flint also had cases of Legionnaire's disease. Oh my gosh. Right. You did a small water drive in 2014. Been in public works for 25 years. Hey, Ethan, you are one to have helped with supplying clean drinking water to individuals that were in need. You, my friend, are a water protector in my book. You were there to help those in need who needed clean drinking water for their life or their health. You know what I do for individuals such as yourself? Ever since Standing Rock, see, I've been a water protector. I'm an Aquarius. I'm the water bearer, right? I'm supposed to figure out how to bring the water to the people. And now it's all about bringing the clean drinking water to the people. Or figuring out how to inspire others to do so. So since Standing Rock in 2016, November, sometime around November 22nd, somewhere around there, I started to make the drop of water. The drop of water represents clean drinking water for all. I've been gifting them to water protectors, to honor water protectors, to honor those who have been helping in the fight for clean drinking water for all. Those who have been involved with Flint, Michigan, those who were at Standing Rock, those who have been involved in all the different pipelines, the Dakota Access Pipeline, the Keystone XL Pipeline, Baton Rouge Pipeline, and then even before Flint, Michigan, we had the Nemus uranium mine spill, the Nemus River in Colorado, which then flows through New Mexico here, which then flows into Arizona and the Navajo Nation. Their water supply was completely desecrated. That year, they also found out that their water wells, their storage, their water storage tanks were literally patched up with sticks and mud on the reservation, the Navajo Nation reservation. These people have money. Why would they not put funding into their water tanks? You know, and then they allow Nestle to come in and supply their drinking water that they stole from places like Michigan, or places like California, or places like Ohio, or just all over, all 50 states. I would bet, I would place a bet with anyone that Nestle has pulled millions of gallons of water from each state, all 50 states, plus Canada and Mexico, and beyond, right? To many different countries. It's pretty amazing how during this time of the whole, the poly-pandemics, the poly-crises, the multi-crisis events that have been occurring recently, the distractions, right, that have been occurring, and then these things like lockdowns where they force us indoor, and they're rebuilding infrastructure and doing all kinds of things, you know, installing LED lights, installing cameras, installing 5G towers, doing all this kinds of stuff, right? During that time, as they're rebuilding the infrastructure, they also took water. So water was once a God-given right to all humans on this planet. Well, they somehow, some judge, right, I guess would be like a Supreme Court judge, right? They decided that water is now a tradable commodity, and that investors, stockholders, stock sharers, they can now own water and own water rights. and also control where water goes, who gets water, all those things. There's a lot of stuff going on, guys. All this stuff with the water, desecrating the water supplies, right? And so then they can come in and they can bring Nestle and all these other corporations to fix the problem of which they created, all right? It's the problem solution path. You either create a problem or you point out a problem and then you give the solution, or you sell them on the solution, right? It's business 101, business marketing, problem solution path. Yeah, they want all of the Great Lakes water, right? Because they know that the Great Lakes it's going to be always constantly replenished. So that is a natural resource. That is money in the bank that will never run dry, right? Their cash assets will never run dry, right? It'll be so lucrative and flowing for them. So water is liquid gold these days, guys. We got Trump talking about the water in Northern California and how they need to release it all. But release all of what? Like, if you release it all, then how much more comes later? Because everything is regulated right now. You know, you can't just release water. I mean, by nature you should be able to, but humans have dammed up the rivers and we've turned them into hydroelectric power sources, right? We create a lot of our energy from water from the dams, which is smart, but because of the water issues and who owns water and how much water each state gets due to the amount of energy and electricity that they need. You know, I learned this from my child's grandfather. He was an engineer who actually worked on these projects to determine the population, the amount of water that each area would need and receive from like the states above them, right? So like here in New Mexico, we get all our water from Colorado. Most people get their water, like California and places, Las Vegas, they get their water from Colorado, right? That's just where it comes from, the Rockies. The Rocky Mountains are one of the largest suppliers of water, right? And then in California, you got all those mountains there, and then up north like Mount Hood, where's Mount Shasta? That's up there in that region as well, right? You got all these different mountains. Southern California too. They should have a lot more water than they have, but for some reason, I've learned that California only harnesses 10% of their rainwater. They release or allow 90% of their rainwater to just go right out to the ocean without harnessing it for farmlands, for individuals, for fire season, keeping the reservoirs full, things like that. It's really interesting. Yet they're in a drought. But those of us understand that these are man-made droughts because of the water policies, legalities, shareholders. People need to earn a profit. So they have other people who have water rights. Silicon Valley definitely has a lot of water. They're making sure they're getting a lot of water. A lot of water is needed for mining Bitcoin. Water is needed for mining oil. Water is needed for fracking. Water is needed for so many different corporate ventures. Corporations use water so much. People don't realize how much water is used. And then the fact that it's not just water that's being used, but they're using our fresh water sources and clean drinking water sources. So, yeah, and also, sorry, Ethan, I was talking about being water protectors and things. I would love to offer you the drop of water. It's something that I've been doing since Standing Rock. It's a drop of water. Basically, it's just glass that represents water. It's clean, clear drinking water. It's all glass though. I just make it look like it's made out of water. And I've been making these water drops since 2016. I was invited to the Gathering of Nations powwow in 2017 in April, where friends of mine from Acoma Pueblo wore the drop of water with their regalia. They had to get special permission to wear the drop of water with their regalia during the buffalo dance, which was a special presentation to honor the water, to honor the water protectors, to honor the buffalo, to honor Standing Rock. And so it was a huge honor. It was a special privilege to be there, to be a part of it all. And so I gifted out my friends, and the Pueblo Enchantment Dancers were all part of Acoma Pueblo, Santo Domingo Pueblo, and one other. I think it was Laguna Pueblo, but I'm not 100% sure. But there were 3 pueblos that were brought together to create the Pueblo Enchantment Dancers, which was where my friends from Acoma Pueblo were part of that group. And we gifted all of them from the Pueblo Enchantment Dancers. There were 19 of them there that year. So we gifted them. And then that weekend I had 200 water drops that I had made, which I ended up starting to sell to gather support to make more. And we started to gift them to those who were part of the Buffalo Dance and those who then I met who were up at Standing Rock, water protectors at Standing Rock. And then those who that, just were somehow connected to the Water is Life movement and fighting for clean drinking water for all. And it grew and grew, and now we're up to 3,000. What are we at? 3,870 something. We're close to 3,880. I'd have to look at my last post to then remember it. I lost track actually. For the first time in a while, I've lost track, so I need to go back and read what I posted and how many I've gifted. Those lakes are so beautiful, literally inland seas. I know, they got some crazy waves. You could actually surf the Great Lakes. And there's some amazing things that they found underneath them as well. They've been talking about wanting to drain the Great Lakes, which is like, how do you do that? I love going up north to see them. If you ever get a chance, come visit. It'll change you. I've been invited to Niagara on both the U.S. and the Canadian side. I had an individual up in Canada who I'd like to call a friend, but friends don't Friends don't rip each other off and make open and empty promises that they can't keep. So he was a business associate, I guess. Someone who wanted to also gift out water drops to water protectors. And it just sucks. The last transaction that I created for him, many pieces of glass for the drop of water and for other excursions. He was supposed to sell the glass and send me money, and it never occurred. So I don't know if I'll ever go visit Niagara on the Canadian side anymore. But I did have that opportunity for a moment. It was a beautiful opportunity. I would love to go see the Great Lakes. I'd love to see Niagara Falls. I'd love to see Canada just for the woods. They're so thick. It's ridiculous. Like, oh my gosh. But then you got to be careful up in them there hills. You never know what you're going to run across or what's going to run across you. Uh-oh. I might have festered this yellow a little bit too much. Might have got it too hot. Let's see if I can bring it back with a reduction flame. More propane than oxygen. I'll try to get the glass smooth again here. I basically boiled the glass and got it all pitted up with a bunch of air bubbles. So let's see if I can fix this one. This one I might just have to keep on my table here. So yeah, if you want to get at me and I can get that sent to you, I'd love to gift you the drop of water, Ethan, for being a water protector, for helping out with those who were in Flint. We had some friends who were out there. I forget what they were known as, the Wolf's Den, but they might also, because they became like a huge story themselves. I don't know if they were like bringing more attention to themselves or if they were actually literally helping out. I do know that they were bringing clean drinking water to the people in Flint, though. I do know that. But I know there were some issues with them and with the Wolf's Den, and I don't know. Some things occurred. And then also earlier I was speaking of all the different pages that I have on Facebook. You can go to facebook.com/thedropofwater and follow the Drop of Water there. You can see all the different stories from years ago, 2016, 2017. I think that page was created when I realized I was going to be going to the Gathering of Nations. That was the first powwow I had ever been to. It was a huge honor for me to be there. So many blessings received. And then after that, the Drop of Water basically took me on a journey to several different states, went all the way up to Winnebago, Nebraska even, gifted out 200 water drops there to individuals during the Veterans Memorial powwow. so many individuals that I've met personally that have shared story with me on how they got involved and all the ways on which they became a water protector. So many people that I've had the honor and the privilege, the honor and the privilege to meet. It's amazing. And then we had our own things going on here in Taos, New Mexico, and our own water protector up on the oil rig or the drilling rig, and he went up there for 4 days and 4 nights. And then when he came down, they arrested him, and then he went to trial. And we were there during his trial when they released him. And all the individuals that were there in support, we all gifted them the drop of water as well. A lot of individuals have been gifted the drop of water. And then, like I said, I sell them as well. I sell them for $10, 3 for $20, and then I have a wholesale price on them. If you purchase, like 100 at a time, then I can really get you a really good deal. For those of you who'd like to sell them yourself, or if you'd like to gift them yourself, I've always told individuals who are doing this that they should sell some to recoup the cost, so then it's just a continuous flow and you keep the flow going. But a lot of individuals didn't want to set up like a separate page for their drop of water in their state. I offered, like, hey, if you want to set up the drop of water in your state, you could have your own website, your own page. It could be like the drop of water California, right? The drop of water Michigan, the drop of water Ohio, the drop of water like everywhere. Standing Rock. So this one, I don't think it's going to spin very well. I think it has a lot of air bubbles and divots and things. So we're going to just set that one off to the side. We'll let that one cool on the Hardy backer. For some reason, that yellow didn't work, and it's because I used that yellow and not this yellow. That's what happened. Alright. Now I understand why it boiled. I picked up the wrong color. So in other news, other things that have been going on is airplanes falling from the sky. I've been talking about my dreams of that when I was in an airplane with my child and the airplane fell from the sky. This was when my child was like 5 years old, something like that. Like in the year 2000, I started having this dream with the airplane fell out of the sky, and as soon as we landed, there were like no one was on board. I couldn't find anyone else. From that point on, I was like in a search looking for my child, which then became like reoccurring dreams and stuff, which is weird. And I don't know, I just find it weird that those reoccurring dreams that I had of the plane going down, me being the only survivor, looking for my child, not finding any other survivors or victims or anyone at all, then having other dreams that are then connected to that. You have this sense of feeling like it's a continuation of it, but it's a whole different scene, a whole different place, all different people. And then like dreaming of fires and floods, where I was on the mountainside and all the mountaintops seemed to be on fire, or like they were on fire. and then floods all down in the valley between the mountains. I've had these dreams since around 2000 or so, for 20 some years now. These reoccurring dreams. Military bases, orbs in the sky. An area with water coming up to a rocky point that doesn't seem like the water would have been there before. Like, I don't know if the ocean finally comes back and meets the Rocky Mountains or what. It seems like in my dreams it's in this area, New Mexico and Colorado. I'm not traveling anywhere else. Or at least I don't believe I'm traveling anywhere else. I believe it's all right in this region here, New Mexico and Colorado, of what my dreams have been about. I don't know about other people and other dreams and stuff, but that's what I've been dreaming about. I think we can make one more before we reach the seal. This is where it was connected. So yeah, there's been a lot going on. Another thing that occurred in the last month that I haven't really been online too much about, but it's the one thing that I have been talking about. And I may possibly be the only individual to have stumbled across some things that I've noticed that just don't seem right, seem out of place. And that's with the Los Angeles train yard, right next to the shipping yard there. The Pacific Union train yard there, right in downtown Los Angeles, California. There have been videos showing cries for help spelled out in railroad ties, spelled out in just a bunch of debris that is so large you can see it from overhead. Dabu 7 on his channel Surviving End Times, he pointed it out. That was the first video that I saw, at least. And I just thought how interesting it was that it was connected to the shipping yard there. But this, the place where the cries for help are spelt out, it's like in a triangle field. Basically, they cleared out some businesses that were once there back in 2017, like a mechanic shop and a wrecking yard. So that used to basically be like a auto salvage yard there. And they cleaned it up, cleared it up, turned it into the Pacific Union train yard, where I guess they just store things there. And it's right next door to the shipping and freight yard for the Pacific Union station there. Now, a couple things that I noticed, I put on a video on one of my very last live streams. That's normally all I do, is I just live stream. I don't upload videos, guys. So if you ever want to see anything that I'm talking about, just go to my live stream tab on my channel, and you'll see it. It's only a few videos back from this one, because I've been sick for a while, and so I didn't do any videos. I didn't have any oxygen, so I didn't have any reason to blow glass and go live. And while I was sick, I didn't want to do any Music Mondays or play any music because I was sick. So yeah, it's been several weeks, I think, at least 2 weeks or so, that I wasn't able to go live. And then also, I think I got in trouble for a while, and I couldn't go live because I was streaming the presidential inauguration ceremony, and I guess I got a copyright strike, and I was restricted from posting and stuff on here for 2 weeks. But then when I came back, I was sick, and so I posted up about being sick. So I don't know when's the last time I spoke about the train yard, but I found some weird things that have to do with the boxcars that are lining up along Mission Boulevard there that just seem a little bit out of place, literally. A couple boxcars literally out of place. So check out that video. I'm gonna let you guys go here after this last one right now. So I've made like 4 or 5 in the last hour. But yeah, I'm gonna let you guys go. I gotta get going here, run some errands. But I just wanted to kind of update a little bit about what's been going on, all the weird anomalies that have been happening, or mass media events, or poly-pandemic events that have been occurring recently, the fires, the floods, the airplanes, the airborne toxic events, lithium fires, water issues. We got some big water issues happening right now, and land grabs also occurring. That's one thing I did want to talk about, is they're talking about taking land through eminent domain. If your land is found to have any sort of uranium on it, they're going to say, they're going to deem it as unfit, unsafe to live, and then they're going to take it through eminent domain. And I do believe that has to do with a lot of the reservations. The native reservations that have been set aside, they're going to now try to take them because of the uranium that is found on the land. And I think that has to do with like FEMA and like with the CDC being able to claim certain areas as being unfit to live, that they now have the power and authority to deem a place as unfit and then have the government come in and take it through eminent domain. I think there's going to be a lot of places that are going to be taken like that here very soon. But I do believe they're going to be focusing on the reservations, the native land, the indigenous people's land. Even though all of this is in the indigenous people's land, Mexico's been run out of here for a while now. But the indigenous Mexicans had land here all the way through, from the southern border all the way up to Canada on the west coast. This used to all be Mexico. I live in New Mexico. This is New Mexico. It's the new Mexico, right? So there's old Mexico, and now we have New Mexico, and we live here. There's people who reside in New Mexico. So we've already been converted over, colonized into a new place. So they don't need old Mexico anymore when they got New Mexico, right? It's not the people that they want. It's the land and the mineral rights, the water and the mineral. That's what it's all about. But yeah, that's going to happen very soon, guys. They're talking about it a lot right now with the Navajo Nation and how they are dumping a bunch of uranium and a lot of stuff. I mean, I guess there's a place here called Spanish Hat, and that has a bunch of uranium spillage and dump sites all around. A lot of toxic places. A lot of toxic places here in New Mexico, that's for sure. We just had a train derailment down south in Socorro. Another train derailment in Socorro County in the last year. This one apparently was carrying sulfuric acid, I believe. Sulfuric acid may have gotten in our water. Socorro, that area with the water, is also known as a wilderness life preserve. It's a sanctuary for all the wildlife, and it may now be polluted. No one's really talking about these things, guys. So it's up to individuals like myself and others on YouTube to share this information out, let people know what's going on, and bring you a little entertainment as well, right? Because this is all for entertainment purposes, for my entertainment, and if you're enjoying this, well, for your entertainment as well. All right, you guys, I'm about ready to let you guys go. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Thank you for the birthday wishes again. Ethan, thank you for coming in and having a conversation with me here. I'll be going live a lot more often now that I have my oxygen refilled again. Probably daily. Hopefully on Monday we'll do some Music Monday. I believe it's President's Day on Monday. So we'll see what occurs. Today is Saturday. We're here at the weekend. We get to enjoy our weekend here with the family. All right, there's the fourth one. So we can let them all cool. So we'll just move this one over away from those. We can make sure that these all spin. Oh, that one spins nice. All right, cool. Oh, this is that one that's all, that one's all jacked up. All right. So these are all good to go in the kiln. All right. And this one as well. That one should spin. So I'm just going to drop that one in the kiln. I'm going to put these others also in the kiln. Ow, one of these are warm still. Cool. Alright, and like I said, we got quite a few in the kiln here. Let me show you. So those are all spinning tops right there, guys. All right, I'm gonna let you guys go. I'm Dan the Glass Man. You've been watching The Glass Man's World. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching. You guys have a beautiful Saturday. I'll see you guys soon.